And the hack is, like Jerry Seinfeld tells, it says it's a racket. You just have to work like an animal every single day. That's the hack. All right, it's a privilege to present this to you because I have been on somewhat of an odyssey for the last 12 weeks. On February 3rd, I left my house and I've been home for 6 days since then, 12 weeks ago. Because I've been trying to learn from the front lines on how to get you all leads every single day for 12 weeks. And you're gonna get this hot off the press because I was doing it on Friday. And you're gonna hear some of the stuff that we were doing on Friday. So if you want leads, you're in the right place because this is a Lead Gen Roadshow. And I'm gonna give you my hottest playbook that stems from the mantra to get off your butt and go knock on doors. All right, yeah, eyebrow raise. Okay. First, let me tell you a little bit about myself. My name is Michael Bukaic. I run an outbound lead gen company for MSPs named Iceberg Cyber on the shirt. I'm a mechanical engineer, okay? Some odd years ago, 15 years ago, I graduated mechanical engineering. So I have the same tech brain that you all do. And at the last business I ran, I wasted $4 million of my investors' money until I killed that business because I was too scared to learn how to love sales. That was my last business. And I've been on this odyssey since then, for the last 3 years, to try and learn how to love sales enough to be a good business owner. Now I hunt for leads for my MSPs. And I also try and teach you how to do the same without feeling slimy, nervous, or scared. So we're going to start this off. When you're looking for a sale, remember, this is a human-to-human sales process. No business is going to sign the contract. At some point, you're going to be sitting across the table from another human being. So let's think about this as a human-to-human sales process. I'm going to teach you my best way, not just one way, my best way, what I do every business day, my best way to get straight to the human so that you can do this tomorrow without getting cute. Because that's really my philosophy. Don't get cute. Because too often we overthink things and overcomplicate it and we get into our own way. And since this is a human-to-human sales process, this is my tactic for how to get you straight to the human. Okay? Before we get into that, let's sync up on our mindset because we are going to go cold outbound, which is significantly different than when someone that you already know makes a warm intro or a warm referral for you. It's a completely different process and it requires a different mindset from you. That's okay because you're here to learn. So let's sync up on this mindset. There are 4 objectives to every sales process, not objections, okay? Objectives. They are in order: build rapport, collect recon, book a meeting, close a deal. Everyone, myself included, would love to jump just to the last one of closing a deal, no doubt, okay, no doubt. But in order to close deals, we have to have meetings so we can talk to the other human and negotiate. And in order to have a good meeting, you might want to sit here. In order to have a good meeting, you have to have enough intel on the prospect to qualify or disqualify them because they may not be ready to meet with you. To get this recon, you have to have enough rapport that they will genuinely answer your questions. Okay, and that's the core of the lead gen process that I'm going to teach you now, is to focus on building rapport and collecting recon. Because far too often people just jump to trying to book meetings and it doesn't work. Because if you don't have enough information about the lead, there's no point in booking a meeting. This is usually where you feel bad about it and then they don't show up. Well, they don't show up because they didn't have a need. You could have answered that question by asking them, but you didn't have enough rapport to ask. So we're going to focus on building rapport and collecting recon. This is the single most valuable asset in your business, is sales intelligence. I'm going to show you how to go get it tomorrow. So another important point about syncing up our mindset, and this is also fundamental to my philosophy. Sales success is a combination of skill, conviction, and effort. Okay, skill and conviction can be rated on a scale of 1 to 10. You can be, like Brian, a 10 out of 10 skilled salesperson. Brian has trained for years to be very good at sales. Okay, excellent. You can be a 1 out of 10. Conviction the same. If you would genuinely sell your managed services to your own mother, to her company, you have very high conviction that you can make your clients happy. Fantastic. But there's a limit to those. Fortunately for all of us, effort is a scale of 1 to 100. You can always go overboard on effort. And because, honestly to myself, I know that I'm not a 10 out of 10 on skill. I'm like a 5 out of 10 maybe. I have no formal skills training. I always go overboard on effort. And this is why it adds to the don't get cute, because no matter where you think you are on the skill scale, you can always go overboard on effort, including tomorrow. Those ingredients add to this recipe of the don't get cute, how to get leads tomorrow. All right, let's start with a story. Back in March, so long ago, of like 6 weeks ago, when I was earlier in this odyssey, one of my MSPs called me because he had seen what I had been doing in February. And he said, Mike, I'm desperate. I need those leads. His wife was on his back. He wasn't making enough money. Okay, you may have all been in this situation or heard a similar story. So he called me desperate and he said, I need you to come and we got to get some leads. And I said, okay, sure. I drove 7 hours to his office. Okay, I sat in his desk. I wanted to see his world through his own eyes. I sat in his chair, and out the window, across the street, was an engineering company. And I said, have you ever spoken to them? No. So we used this tactic. We walked across the street, spoke to the business owner, who asked, how long have you been here? 15 years. Oh, I never even knew you were there. And 48 hours later, he signed a contract for $8,000. 48 hours later, I was on the plane to the next city. So I'm going to show you this tactic. It's called donuts to dollars. It's all about those donuts. Okay, I'm going to show you. Bear with me with the donuts. This is what I've been doing every waking and sleeping moment for the last 10 weeks. So buckle up. The leads are all around you. Just like the MSP in the story, the leads don't move. Okay, none of you want a company that just started yesterday. You all want mature 15, 20-year-old, 50-person engineering companies and law firms, right? Okay, they don't move. The leads are there. What you're missing is a way to engage them so that they talk with you instead of going to Google. The easiest way to do that, which I've been doing 249 times in the last 12 weeks, is to make a map, because their offices are listed on Google Maps, and I'm going to show you how to do that. Buy a dozen donuts, which is a skeleton key to open any door, and then go say hi. I'm going to show you the exact script that I use to break the ice and get them to engage, and very quickly build rapport and collect the critical recon that I need to further them in my sales process. So let's start with the first step. We're going to make a map. I made this little vibe-coded thing on a plane because I needed to build a list of targets to donut while I was on the way to go to the MSP's house. So originally, I would just go to Google Maps and I would type in like accountant, which you can do as well. Type into accountant, and the first page will show you 20 accountants in an area. This is just a sexier version that does the exact same thing. You drop a little pin in your area, the northern suburbs of Chicago, type in your keywords, just like you would type into Google Maps. You know, engineering consultant is the category that Google Maps uses. And here's almost 300 engineering companies in the northern suburbs of Chicago, which I showed the MSP, and he was flabbergasted because he thought there were no leads near him because he never looked. First eye-opening part of the experience. So I almost guarantee all of you, if you did this in your own area, you'd be shocked at how many pins pop up. Now, this is just companies that match engineer or engineering in your area. These are not necessarily the ones that you want, so you got to clean this down a little bit. You're going to go to Google Maps if you want to do this manually tonight. Then, save them to a spreadsheet or something. I manually go to each one of their websites and each one of their LinkedIn profiles because I want to eyeball the website. I like to look for the team photos and count how many people on the team. I like to get a sense of who I'm going to go talk to. Then I go on their LinkedIn, I do the same, double check the industry, double check the employee range. And then originally I saved all of that to a Google My Map, which is slightly different than a regular Google Map. Google My Maps allows you to make something, I'll have a picture later. You just allow you to save it. You can upload from a CSV, you save it, and you can make your driving route. That's what I started with. That's the don't get cute strategy you can do tonight. Don't get cute. Okay, and then there is a lot of cleaning that's required here because we don't want all engineering companies because some are super big, some are super tiny. So we go through their website. I was doing this yesterday for 4 hours, right? Don't get cute. I'm preparing for my donutting on Friday. I'm looking specifically for 20 to 100 employee firms for the MSPs that I have been doing it for because under 20 have been a little bit too small for them. That may differ for you. there's no judgment. I've just been looking for 20 and over. And I have found, because I have gone to like 130, 150 employee companies, Donut's not working so well for them. Because the receptionist, there's many layers. The receptionist often a little bit better trained at gating me. So I have found the best success 20 to 100 employees. It works really well for under 20 as well. The contracts are just too small that my MSPs wanted to go higher, okay? So that's what I've been looking for. You got to strip out all like the franchises and the super big companies that none of you want to talk to, and make sure you remove your clients, because you don't need, I mean, you could do that for a customer success thing, but you're not going to go hunt your clients. Bottom point has been learned in the field, particularly for law firms and accounting companies. They'll have what I've been calling SEO ghost offices, where they'll have their headquarters somewhere, and then in Nashville, in Franklin, whatever, they have these other like PO boxes or shared workspaces that they do for SEO purposes. So when you search on Google Maps, it shows them in that region. I don't want to go there because there's no one there. I don't have a super cool automated way to get rid of those. So I just look on Google Street View at the front of the office and check to see if it's a PO box or not, because I've gone to a bunch of like convenience stores before I figured out to check for that. It has been most common with the accountants and the law firms. Engineering companies hasn't been an issue with. Okay, so this is your hygiene. This I was doing for 4 hours yesterday because I'm preparing for donutting on Friday. You can do the same. You won't be doing it tonight because you'll get home late. You can do it tomorrow morning. This is what the Google My Map looked like. This was from like 4 or 5 weeks ago when I was still doing it with the Google My Map. These are all of the 11 to 50, because that's one LinkedIn employee range bin, and 51 to 200 law firms in and around Las Vegas, like 50, 60 of them. That's the Google My Map. We just upload the CSV after I cleaned it in Excel, and you plot it there. And then the MSP and I bought our donuts, pink box in Las Vegas, and we hit up as many as we could. That's exactly what you can do. Okay, now I got you on the map. Let's go through the script. This is what you're going to look like, smiling. These are people like you. That's me. You piece that together. This is an MSP from Northern California, Houston, donuts. Okay, very straightforward. I learned this whole thing from a sales book from 1976. Again, donuts, donuts. This is what it's going to look like. Visualize yourself doing this. Here's the script. Okay, this is the cliffhanger you've all been waiting for. This is exactly how I do it. Hi, my name's Mike. I work at an IT company. We love helping law firms with their IT. I wanted to come by and introduce myself and make sure you're having a great day, so I brought you some donuts. That is verbatim what I've said 249 times. Verbatim. I don't screw with this. I work at an IT company. No one knows what a managed service provider is, so don't say that. You're going to be speaking to the receptionist. The receptionist is always doing something else when you interrupt them. So you got to be super simple, because their brain was distracted and they're trying to come up to your speed. So you say exactly this. Hi, my name is Mike. I work at an IT company. I love helping law firms with their technology. I wanted to come by and introduce myself, not just introduce myself. I wanted to come by and introduce myself and make sure you're having a great day, so I brought you some donuts. This is usually what they say. And I've gone through all of my notes and recordings and distilled it to these 4 exact outcomes. Oh my gosh, that's so nice of you. Would you like to talk to the office manager? That's the number 1 reaction. 249 times. Oh my God, that's so nice of you. Would you like to talk to the office manager? Yes, I would like to talk to the office manager. And then the office manager comes and I repeat the exact same script. Or they'll say, wow, do you have a card? I'll give it to my boss, which is also great. I would love for them to give it to their boss. And then I have a follow-up that I'm going to do. Or what we're all looking for is number 3. Wow, this is perfect timing. We just had this issue. So on Friday, walked into a company. The receptionist says, you just missed. Our boss just left. Okay, don't let that throw you off. I said, cool, where'd he go? She genuinely asked, where'd he go? He had to run to the bank. Someone just sent him some sort of phone scam and got his bank credentials, and he had to go to Chase and sort it out. That's what they said to me after walking in and saying, hi, here are some donuts. They told me that. I thought, oh my gosh, does that happen often? And they just started going off about how they get email scams all the time. The owner's wife also works there, and she clicks on all this stuff all the time, and they just started going off. And I'm listening to all of this, and I say, don't you have someone helping you with this kind of stuff? And then they started bad-mouthing their IT company. Bless you. And I got all of this sales intel by just going in and saying hi and offering them donuts, which is killer. Because we talked for like 15 minutes about how people are preying on them all the time. That's how they perceive it to be. And their IT company is not doing anything to help them with that. So that's the perfect timing that we're all going for. Number 4, just so that I can give you the boundary of the worst case scenario. The worst case scenario that has happened 3 out of 249 times. And they say, okay, cool, thanks for stopping by. That's the worst case scenario. So if you can stomach that, you can walk into anyone in your Dream 200, anyone in your ideal client profile, use this exact script, and you'll get this far. Okay, that's the opener. Here's what I do to get them more engaged, because that doesn't give me any recon. Okay, I'm there to build rapport and collect recon. We just built rapport. I'm there to get some recon. So this is my hook. I make this little lead magnet. It's called the Cyber Score. It's like a little dark web scan, DMARC scan. It's meant as a conversation starter. I built it 3 years ago, not knowing that it would live its perfect life when I hand it in a piece of paper for donuts. But this is what it was built for. Okay, this is the hook. I do this little fun thing. It's called our Cyber Score. I turn my body so we're both looking at it, nonverbals. It's like a cyber version of a credit score, and I try and find your colleagues' passwords on the internet. Facial expressions. And we look at it like this. And it's got their colleagues' pics on it from LinkedIn. And I flip it over on the back. On the back, it's got their employee roster with number of dark web breaches. I say, do you recognize anyone on the list? And the receptionists do one of these. They don't work here anymore. Oh, they're really bad with computers. No, they don't work anymore. This person died. Sorry to hear that. Oh yeah, he's really bad. That's the president. I can't believe the president's got 20. The receptionists always do that with their pen. And I say, yeah, we do this as a fun little educational thing because most people reuse the same passwords for everything, which is a tee up because they always eat that up and they say, yeah, we're really bad with that kind of stuff. Okay, this is my hook. And then, because I'm after the recon, I say, who's helping you with this kind of stuff? And the way that that's delivered, 100% of the time they tell me, we got a guy, solo consultant. We've been working for someone with 20 years. He runs a solo business, solo consultant, computer guy. We work with a company. If they say we have someone, like we work with a company, I say, is it someone internal or it's an outside company? Because I want to know if it's DIY, internal, or an MSP. If they say, yeah, we have an outside company, I always ask, oh yeah, who is it? I ask it exactly like that. And they tell me. Many times the receptionist won't know the MSP's name, which is great intel for me. Because if any of the receptionists of your clients don't know who you are, that's a bad sign for you. So I want to know that, because if the receptionist doesn't have, like on their monitor, 1-800 call me for help, that's a mark of poor quality service from the MSP, and I'm going to try and get in on that. So let's go through that again. The opener. Hi, my name's Mike. I work at an IT company. We love helping law firms with their IT. I wanted to come by and introduce myself and make sure you're having a great day. I brought you these donuts. Oh my gosh, that is so nice of you. Would you like to talk to the office manager? Sure, if they're around. They're around? Oh yeah, let me go get Jennifer. Okay, and then I do the same thing again. Jennifer, what's up? My name is Mike. I work in an IT company. I love helping law firms with their technology. I want to come by and introduce myself. Brought you all donuts. Wow, that's so cool, thanks. And then I'm looking around, chit-chat quickly. I'm not there to chit-chat, I'm there to collect intel. And I do it, yeah, and I did this little fun thing. I always say fun thing because I want to pretense it as something fun, not something scary. I'm not shaming them. And I turn my body and we look at it together. I say it's a little educational tool where we try and find your colleagues' passwords on the internet. And I found a bunch. Okay, we got 90 passwords. If you flip it over, you'll get Barry. Barry's the president. Yeah, Barry. I found 15 of Barry's passwords. It's not a big deal though. Super easy to fix. I just got to sit down with you. We go through the list, help you change your passwords. Who's helping you with this kind of stuff? And they tell me. Okay, that's exactly it. Then the most important thing is you got to keep quiet and let them blab to you, which I find is the biggest benefit of doing this, because when you're in person, they just keep talking. Like they just keep talking, which is fantastic because all of that is free intel that you can write down later and then process and figure out how to come back with even better material. So the key pieces of intel that I'm looking for at this stage of the process: who their current provider is, I want to know if it's DIY, if they have someone like a dedicated person internally, if they work with an MSP, and if they do, who is it? And I ask that by saying, who's helping you with this kind of stuff? That's it. There may be a better line, but that's exactly how I ask it, and they answer. It doesn't make them feel guarded. I think some part of this magic recipe makes them feel disarmed, but that's exactly how I have been asking it. I would also like to know when the contract renews. It's rare that you get it, but I ask anyways, how long have you been working with them? Oh, when did you renew the contract? Sometimes you get how long they've been working together, but not always when the contract renews. The receptionist doesn't always know that information. Sometimes you get to the office manager and they tell you. I had one person, she was super frustrated with her MSP. She brought me to her office, a law firm office manager, and she flipped through her little Rolodex, like seriously, the real Rolodex thing. She took out the contact information of the MSP. She told me exactly when the contract was signed and when it renews. And I said, great, I'm gonna come back 6 months before and we're gonna talk about how I can earn your business. And she said, definitely. Okay, that's good for 17 bucks of donuts. I know exactly when to come back. I know she's frustrated. There's only 2 MSPs in her market that know that. Me and her existing for $17 worth of Dunkin' Donuts. I would also like to know the disposition. This is qualitative. I ask, how's it going? And then I try and listen for when they're just divulging information, complaining about the Chase email stuff and blah, blah, blah. And I just keep asking them and try and pull as much as I can and then remember it and then write it down afterwards. Here are some quotes from the actual conversations. This is the owner's son of a 35-person manufacturing company. They're making AR-15s. They need CMMC compliance. This one was 2 Fridays ago and the proposal is already in the works. He said, okay, let me stage this up for you. I walk in with donuts. Enid, whose original equipment from the 65-year-old company, she's been there in the same chair since they started. God bless her. She loves the donuts. She starts telling me how her Outlook's not working, and I'm like, close it, reopen it. And then she's like, you want to talk to the owner's son? The owner's son. Okay, come over. Yeah. We start talking. I do the exact script. He goes off. We definitely have a lot of tech problems. About 8 months ago, we got hacked pretty bad. They had a ransomware incident, and that was a big problem. No duh. Our IT company, they're pretty bad. So I wouldn't say that we're, committed to staying with them. This is what he says to me seconds after I just show up off the street with donuts. Here's the office manager of a 22-person chemicals company. I do the script. We talking. She says, I'm not a fan of the new setup. They got someone remote. I'm not a fan of the new setup. It takes too long to get a hold of them. I hate this whole remote thing. If we need someone on site, it doesn't help as much as I would like. I show her the cyber score. My IT guy didn't catch these. That's the disposition that I get. I just show up, I do this exact script, and this is what she divulges. Okay, we can work with this. Okay, this is a Dream 200 person within driving distance that has these problems with their existing IT provider. We can work with this. Here's the last one. 8-person architecture firm. Okay, smaller, but 8-person architecture firm still has a lot of tech issues. If you're not thinking about architects, I'm hot on the architects. Mondo Computers. Talking about his current solo consultant. He's a one-man shop. He's slow. We have to be a little bit patient with him. I don't feel like he's as aggressive or forward-thinking. He hasn't leaned into the whole Revit thing. That's their 3D modeling software, line of business application. We kind of had some struggles communicating and dialoguing problems. It's been like he's just plugging the holes in the dam. After I just walk in, I interrupted a team meeting the whole 8-people company was having. I interrupted it. They didn't say, hey, we're busy. This guy just starts going off. Because clearly something's on his mind bothering him. And all I had to do was show up with eye contact, smile, and a positive tone, and this exact script, and a box of 12 Dunkin' Donuts, and I got this. We can work with that. Okay? I have been doing, in the last 11-ish weeks, I did this 23 days. I've hit 249 engagements. I attempted more, but it was either an SEO address or one time the building was demolished. That was a bummer. or the doors are locked. Some people don't work from the office, work from home. So 249 actual engagements, face-to-face conversations, 249 times in 10-ish weeks. That's averaging 11 face-to-face conversations per day. I'm getting better. The quantity per day is proportional to how well you plan the driving route. That's pretty much it. Because on Friday I did 28 in a day. And that's just because I've been getting better at planning the driving routes. That's it. That's a very small achievable problem for you to do. Okay? When I say prospect, when I say lead, I mean someone in your Dream 200, your ideal client profile, that has problems that you want to solve. That's a lead. I'm engaging with them face to face. They're now engaged leads. A prospect is a lead in their buying window. So when they say it's perfect timing, on Friday, I walk into a law firm. The law firm says, your ears must have been burning. This morning we had our partner meeting. We just decided to get an IT company. Same day. Okay, I generate that luck through hustle. To her, it seems like perfect timing. To me, I do it every single day. I'm getting 2 of those per day. I'm getting 2 people in their buying window per day, over 249 interactions. Still a small sample size. I did 89 2 weeks ago, so you give me a couple weeks, this will be double. You can easily hit 100 per week with the right route planning. 100 face-to-face interactions with your Dream 200. Okay, and all it costs is about 16, 17 bucks in donuts and your time. Okay, I'm going to wrap this up because I'm doing very well for time. I want to bring this back to our outbound lead gen mindset. This is a big difference than when you're getting warm referrals inbound. Big difference in your mind. Because we must be humble. These are not going to be laydowns. Okay? Bless you. You're gonna get really amped up when someone says, your ears must have been burning. We were just thinking about this. Okay? But you generate that luck through hustle. So be humble. These will not be laydowns. These are going to be first encounters. Okay? You're in the right spot because Brian and Nate are going to show you how to take first encounters to close. But these are going to be first encounters. Okay? Be patient. The most valuable asset in your business is the sales intelligence that you have in your CRM, which means the notes. Okay, it's really hard to take notes. It's really hard to take notes. While I've been on all these plans, I read like 6 books on how to listen critically and nonverbal body language. It's really hard to take notes because you're super nervous and you're just trying to remember the next line in the script that I just told you, and they're like spilling all this stuff to you. I have taken notes, pen and paper right in front of them. That's okay. I say, whoa, let me take notes on this. This is important to you. I'm going to take notes. They're okay with that once you have enough rapport. If you walk in with a clipboard, they're going to be weirded out. But I have the little thing in my back pocket and I take notes. When I get back to the car, I just splurge into a voice note to myself. Everything that I could remember. Like I try and go back through the entire conversation and just put it all out into an audio recording. And then I transcribe it when I get back to the office and I read through it and I put notes. The notes are why we're there. The money is in the follow-ups and the follow-ups need the notes. Okay, so the whole reason we're going is the notes, because if you don't take notes, what you're doing is expecting laydowns. And we don't expect laydowns. That's for lazy MSPs. That ain't us. We're here to hunt, which means we need the notes. The legitimate outcome from all of this effort is that every company in your Dream 200 list is going to know who you are. And you're going to have clocked them face to face. You're going to be standing in their office, which is killer intel. And you can effectively do this in a couple weeks. Because I hit 89 in 1 week, and I'm pretty sure next week when I do it in 4 days, I'm going to hunt 104 days. I'm gunning for it next week. But like within a couple weeks, you can cover your entire Dream 200 in your area. Yes.
So you're driving around in your car.
Correct.
20 boxes of donuts in there.
Yes.
Okay.
Exactly.
Make sure.
Exactly.
Make sure.
I if I'm not already, I plan to be the #1 Dunkin' Donuts distributor in this country. I have maxed out their loyalty program. I get as much free coffee as I want. The Dunkin's people love this. Like I tell them what I'm doing. I tell everyone what I'm doing. If you make the mistake of connecting with me on LinkedIn, you're going to see this every day. I tell everyone what I'm doing. The Dunkin's people love this. They get like they give me free coffee, they give me free sandwiches, they give me everything because they love it. And the leads also love it Like, they know what I'm doing. And they'll say, what, are you driving around with donuts? I say, yeah, exactly. We're hungry to grow our business. I want to make sure that we love serving law firms. I want to make sure every law firm I introduce myself. Oh my gosh, that's so good. No one knows that. They say that all the time.
Such a good point, because all businesses want to get new clients. So there's nothing there's nothing to be ashamed
No shame.
of doing a cool way to get new clients. What they're going to say is, oh, cool, I'm going to try that too.
Yeah. This is not a gimmick. This is not a gimmick. This is the cost of the relationship. I'm there to introduce myself. I'm not tricking them in any way. I'm here to introduce myself. I know you probably have problems that we like solving, so I'm here to introduce myself, so at least you know me. And if you have those problems, I would love to sit down and meet with you and show you how I can earn your business. I've said that line many times. When the office manager says, we have this company, or they say one of these, they complain about their existing provider, and I'll tell them, listen, here's my boss's card. We'd love to sit down with you and just show you what good looks like. Let us show you how we can earn your business. And they're cool with that. Like, there's no deception. There's no shame. That's the game. Okay? So if you came here saying, I need leads, go to Google Maps, because the leads are there. Get off your butt and go knock on doors. Yes. You can ask me how I make the maps, how I clean the maps. Like, the map is the most important. We go back to the map. The map is the most important. I'll show you how I clean the maps. I show you how to make the maps. We'll put the script back on the TV at some point. Okay, but I can walk you through all part of this process. If we go back to our equation of skill, conviction, and effort, this is max effort. This is not a complicated process by definition, because I don't have that much skill and I don't have that much capacity for complications. Because most times I'm going to the place and on the way I got to prepare. So it's on the plane or in the car. It's simple.
Is that part of Google Maps or your own page?
No, that's my thing. And you're going to get this as part of the follow-up. I also have recordings of some of these conversations that I've anonymized, which you're going to get as the follow-up packet to being an attendee at today's Lead Gen Roadshow. And that's the hottest stuff that I can share with you, because I firmly believe that if you hear the recordings, it's going to dispel any nervousness you have about doing this yourself. Because it has been a pleasant surprise how positive people react to me. Because I'll say the script and they'll say, oh my gosh, that's so nice of you. Would you like to talk to my boss? And I say, yeah. And then I do this and they get a sweet kick out of it. And they just start riffing about how the current IT person doesn't do any of this stuff for them. Their existing MSP has left them hung out to dry for the ransomware. And also in November, they got to comply with their CMMC. The current MSP ain't doing anything about that. One business day later, he met with the MSP that I was representing, and that was last Monday. The proposal's already in the works. Those are the good ones. But to get to those, you got to turn over every rock. Okay? Because statistically, some single-digit % of your market's going to be in the market for IT services right now. So if that means you have to do 100 in a week to find the 5 people that are in the market right now, that's okay. This is not a high-skill task. I have trained my most successful person. He's 21 years old. He's the son of the MSP's owner. I trained him on how to do this. He's the most successful. He doesn't overthink it. He sticks the exact script. He's printed out thousands of these little pieces of paper. He's the most successful. His dad's paying him like 3% commission. He's getting a steal. And I told him that. But he's the most successful because he doesn't overthink it. So get off your butt and knock on doors. And if you want to see fun videos of me doing this literally every single day, scan this QR code. This malicious QR code will connect with me on LinkedIn, and you're going to see my face every single day. That's it. To the second, get off your butt and go knock on doors. Here's more of the little leaflets if you want to see for yourself. These were from Tuesday last week in Stockton. These are real ones. You can all call Chad and tell him he looks cool and he's a prof in this one.
You do this for every prospect ahead of time?
Exactly. Okay, let me tell you all. Let me hand these out and I'll tell them. You know about these. You have your own branded ones. I make these are my lead magnet that I make. It's part of my CyberScore system. Okay, we're 7 seconds like James Bond. As part of the prep, because Google Maps tells me all their websites, I print one of these for each one of the leads. So I'm walking in with theirs, and this is what I leave with them. No pamphlets, no brochures, no crap like that. They don't want it. They're just going to throw it in the garbage. Okay, I leave them this. And usually, the receptionist, she marks it all up. This person doesn't work here, this person doesn't work here. I love that. When I see the receptionist click their pen, I know we're going to have a great conversation. That's exactly what I do. This is what I give them. And then I have the MSP's business card, and I say, here's my boss's card. When's a good time for me to meet with Jennifer and just walk her through how to fix this stuff? And that's the follow-up. How do I get this to Jennifer? Oh, here's her card. What's the best way to call? Is it call or email? No, just call her. When's she in next? She's not here now. When is she in next? She works from home Mondays and Fridays. She's in the office on Tuesday. Is tomorrow afternoon good? Because I can just pop back over tomorrow and just walk her through this. Yeah, she'll be here around 1. I've had receptionists put time blocks on the office manager's calendar because I'll say, I'll just come back tomorrow at 1 o'clock. And then I come back tomorrow at 1 o'clock and I talk to the office manager. And I do the whole thing again. You do that too. I want to try and max as much as I can the face-to-face. So if the follow-up can be face-to-face, I try and do that as well. Because this is a human-to-human process, so I want to get as much human time as I can. I don't want to default back to email or phone because I'm the only one that put in all the effort to come there in person. So I want to maintain that connection with them.
Is that a second box of donuts?
Second box of donuts. And I always joke, I'm like, next time you want me to bring you some more donuts? Oh yeah. And then I've had one, and they always grab my arm when they do this, like it's some sort of secret. We're the only two there. It's like, I want chocolate next time. You got it. Or they're like, no, I'm gluten-free. We're on a diet. We're trying on a health kick. Okay, what do you want me to bring? I've done fruit basket. I've done bagels. The gluten-free, I didn't go back for her, but that would be, I'm sure I can find something. Oreos are gluten-free, I think. Anyways, Oreos aren't gluten-free. I would have checked the internet. Yeah, whenever I get something like that, I know I'm in. You know, I know I'm in at that point. That's it.
Bring a corn bread.
Whatever. Really, it doesn't matter. It's like we're doing a little Chiabaldi reciprocity here. I'm giving them something to make them smile. It can be anything. If you have a friend that has a bakery, do that. I do Dunkin's because I am never in my own city. I have no idea what's good here, and there's Dunkin's on every corner, and I need convenience because I'm banging those numbers, you know? Trying to do 28 one day. So Dunkin's, no one cares about Dunkin's. Like, they love it. They don't care that it's Dunkin' Donuts. They don't want anything bougie. I did really bougie ones once. No difference. So don't overthink it. Don't get cute.
You got 10 more.